Jumbo. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to install an SSL certificate for froxlor. So let me go to the article here. It's on jumbo.com, live sub menu, and then watch menu, then we go there to the froxlor. So before we begin, quick reminder, I do a live stream every day at 2 p.m. Eastern. You're free to join the live chat and post any programming or lifestyle topics. As you can see, there's a direct link right to the live stream, so you can go there, log in, and start chatting. Or you can simply watch the video. The video is also embedded in this article. Also, be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments. It helps the channel grow and helps people find tutorials such as this one. In fact, this tutorial is actually requested by a subscriber, or I think it was a subscriber or a viewer. So that's what I'm saying. It also that's why I'm happy to do this. This is a lot of my tutorials have been requested by subscribers or viewers just like you. Okay, so in the past, I don't remember how long ago, maybe over a month ago or so, I did a review of froxlor. This is a control panel, meaning that if you want to have your own web hosting, or if you want to have your own server and have manage your different domains, maybe one for email or several of them for email, websites, everything, you can use froxlor. So this person requested instructions on how to install a wildcard certificate. So as you can see in the title, it's how to install a wildcard certificate. So I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to do it locally. However, all the same concepts, all the instructions, everything I do, you can do it obviously on a live server. However, I'm going to do a little twist in that I'm going to use a container. I'm going to use Podman, a Podman container. So here of Docker, you can follow along as well. The reason I like using containers is sometimes some applications, they have dependencies which might conflict with my current system. For example, locally here, I use Fedora 42, and it uses the latest version of PHP, one of a very late version of my MariaDB. So what I'm saying is some applications, their upgrade path might be a little bit slow, so maybe they don't support the latest and greatest, right? So putting it in a container, I can specify what version of, say, PHP or MySQL or MariaDB or whatever dependency. So that's one of the reasons I like using containers. So I'm going to use said Podman and Podman-Compose, but if you have Docker and Docker Compose, it's a drop-in replacement, so you can use either or. The reason I like to use Podman is because it's rootless, meaning that I don't have to be a super admin user to use it and to run applications, as you will see when I get started. So if you're in a Debian-based system, it's simply just apt install Podman-Compose and Podman. And if you're on RHEL, that's Red Hat Enterprise Linux, CentOS, or forgive me, I'm a Fedora, because they're all based on Fedora. Ultimately, I just use DNF install Podman and Podman-Compose. The reason you see the -y here, that means that it's automatic. It's not going to prompt you to answer a question. Are you sure you want to do this? So that's why you see that, but you don't need to. Because you're in a command, obviously you're going to be running it manually, so that's why. But if you're using like a build service, which I'll talk about in a future tutorial, very coming up pretty soon, you can do it that way as well. Okay, so basically what you have to do is create a folder for where you're going to set up your environment, and then we're going to use so froxlor does not have a what do you call it? It doesn't have a container, so we're going to create our own container. I'm going to also run it using Nginx, but you can use Apache. Actually, the previous tutorial I actually used Apache on the system, because on the system I have Apache and MariaDB already installed. So that's what I use. For example, just earlier today, I was doing something for a client's website. So I just finished that about half an hour ago before this live stream. And then so I also did, yeah. So what you do is you can create a separate Nginx, because we need a specific Nginx configuration file, and then all as you can just put it out. There's multiple ways. I like to put everything, especially if it's not too complex like this one. I can put everything in the same place, and then you get your SSL certificate. But in this particular case, I'm going to generate some SSL certificates, and I'll show you how to do that. They're going to be self-signed. But normally on if you're on a remote server, it will say, oh, this is not valid. So you can purchase one, or you can use something like Let's Encrypt, which they provide free SSL certificates, no questions asked. They also have wildcard certificates as well. And then after that, you download the froxlor files, and then see, we get the latest release from froxlor.org, and then we just build our container. Now, I think I deleted all my containers because I was running out of space to do when I was doing some AI stuff. So you guys might actually see me set this up right from scratch. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to show you, I have a container file, and I think I did all this stuff on the container file, but I'll show you all that. So I have a container file here. I have an Nginx file first. I'll show you this one to you first. Can I zoom? There we go. So just listen port 80. This is inside the container. Listen to port 80, and this server, you see this little underscore, that just means it's like a variable. If something goes wrong, oh, this is a redirect 301. It's HTTPS. Remember, we're going to have HTTPS. So what this means is that if somebody types in HTTP : / whatever the name of the website or the IP address, it's going to redirect them, return 301. That means a permanent redirect to HTTPS, the secure version. So that's what we have here. We have server, and you see the default for listening is 443. You can change this, but we're going to use the default 443. You see it says SSL, and then our server name, whatever you can replace this with the actual domain. I'm localhost because I'm local, but if you had if you had your site like example.com, you'd put that here, and then it's gonna ask for the path for the SSL certificate and the key. So it's always a key pair. One is a public key, one is one is the server key or public key, if that's what you. So that's a certificate, and that's the key to validate. Sometimes you might also see the bundle. The bundle, it means it's one of those trusted ones. So obviously, because this is self-signed, I don't need that. And most time you don't need to do that, because the server itself, the server software in Linux at least, it automatically updates at least once a week, whatever, to get, for example, usually the number of providers for valid SSL certificates, they're not that many, so it's easy it's just a simple database. So then the location here, try_files URL, so it's gonna redirect to index.php. And then here we have the like a proxy type, accessing the proxy for fast CGI. That's obviously PHP, as you can see here. It's going to use froxlor-PHP. So this is going to be a specific container for PHP. That's how containers work. It's sometimes hard to wrap my head over it, because when I use Linux, I just can install everything all at once to create like a LAMP server. But containers are different. The way they're meant to be is like you have one container for your database, one container for PHP, another container for Perl. Yeah, so that's one thing. Even me right now, I'm still getting my it's been, I think I've been using containers. I used to Docker back in the day. So it's probably been over a decade or so, but I still have to, sometimes I have to get over I wrap my head over it. So that's an Nginx file. Next, I'm going to show you the container file. So the container file, if you're coming from Docker, it's the same thing as Docker file. So I'm going to zoom in here as well. So as you see, I'm going to grab the PHP 8.2 FPM from Alpine, The reason for this is because it doesn't work with the latest version 8.4. So it turned out this tutorial is actually pretty good because I said my system, the host system, runs PHP 8.4. Now, I think what I did last time is, I think I had PHP 8.3 or 8.4. What I did is I had to go manually and fix those warnings and the deprecated warnings. But in this case, I wanted to run it 8.2, which you see here, 8.2 from Alpine. And then we install, because we're going to need MariaDB, so we need, I install all this. Some of them are also needed for froxlor. For example, you need zip, bzip2, zlib, curl and tar, just easier, and then the MariaDB client. And then when you have containers, because it's a container, you have to use docker-php-ext-install, and that will install all this stuff. So you can see pdo MySQL, that's clearly PHP data objects, emp, gd, op cache, zip, bcmath, bz2, and mbstring. Those are all needed for PHP. And froxlor, when the first time installed, you say, oh, we don't have this. So then, also I put them all here. And then finally, see, I download the froxlor, and so this is going to be inside the container. I could have downloaded it separately, but I wanted this to be reproducible. So that's why I put this here. Downloads it untars it or unarchives it, then it removes the tar zip file, which is called a tarball. And then after that, you can see it's going to create the PHP 8.2 log, and it's going to change the ownership, www-data. That's a Debian user for the to run Apache. For example, if I was using a Red Hat type of system, a Fedora-based system, it will be HTTPD. That's the user. No, it's Apache. Actually, it's the word Apache, which is kind of weird. It's actually the word Apache. I'm wondering why Debian chose this, because they use Apache too. So it's kind of weird that their naming convention is slightly different, but that's how it is. And then change owner for the /var www folder. Because remember, you see here the work folder. It's /var/www. That's where froxlor is going to be. It's going to be put when we download it. We're using curl to download it. Okay, so that's our container file, and then of course we have a Podman or a YAML file. This one is pretty simple. Let me zoom in as well. So we grab the latest MariaDB. So this is different. This MariaDB is the server, okay? But we need the client. That's why the container file has the client. So we grab the latest one, the latest server. You see, and the container name is going to be froxlor-db. The environment, you can put your password here for the root password, and then for the regular user, you put your database name here and the credentials. I mean, the regular user and regular user password for the MySQL. And then after that, the volume, because we want this to be persistent. So that's the volume name. MySQL, by default, it puts everything into /var/lib/MySQL. So that's why we want that to be persistent. If we don't do that, it will keep on downloading every single time and setting it up again. And then we want this to restart always. So meaning that if something goes wrong, maybe another container is down, we want this one to restart, because this is going to be a dependency. So then we have our PHP container. You see here it says build. That's because it's going to build whatever is in the container file. So it's going to be built, and the container is going to be froxlor-php. And then this one also has a volume. It's in the data volume /var/www froxlor. Remember, that's froxlor. That's where we're going to have to install it when it's downloaded. And then it depends on, you can see here, it depends on the database, froxlor-db, restart always. And then we have another one called froxlor-web. So this is going to be Nginx. We get this Nginx version. And then we call the container froxlor-web, and the ports for this one is 8080 on the host system is mapped to port 80 in the container, and port 8443 on the host is mapped to port 443 inside the container. So meaning that if I want to use this, I have to use port 8080 and 8444 in my web browser. I could also have mapped it to 80 to 80 and 443 to 443. The reason I didn't do that is because I said, even right now, I'm running the Apache server locally because I said I was doing some work for a client earlier this morning. Okay, and again, this one has two volumes. One of them is the Nginx config file. That's what this guy showed you earlier. So that goes to etc/nginx/config/default.conf, and then we also have the froxlor-data, which goes /var/www/froxlor. So we mount the same volume for the web server, and then we have the certificates. So our certificates, well, you can pick whatever name you want. So this one I'm just going to your domain.cert and your key.cert. So those are the keys. We'll create those as well. I'll show you right after this. And then depends on froxlor-php, which in turn depends on the database container. And then restart always. And the command for this one, because Nginx is not like Apache, which has its own self-running daemon. So in this case, you have to do this manually, Nginx-g daemon off. So we can run it like this, or we can also put this inside our container file, but it's probably easy. This is a good spot to put it. And here's our volumes. See the database data and just the data. So that's it. Now, so that's it for there. Now we just see I did create some keys. As you can see, I created them this week. So I'm going to delete those keys, and then I'll show you how you can create your own keys. These are self-signed keys. So I could have simply made them also inside the container, but that doesn't make sense because this key and certificate is supposed to mimic what do you call it? It's supposed to mimic it's supposed to mimic you creating your own what do you call it? It's supposed to mimic you creating your own buying a certificate. When you buy a certificate, you usually get you get a bundle and the certificate, or you might the key is the one where if the key was created because I signed it myself. That's why it's called a self-signed certificate. When you buy a key from another company, or if it's Let's Encrypt, they sign it themselves because they are trusted, right? So clearly here it's self-signed. I trust myself. So, but the problem is you might not trust me, so you're not going to use my key on your website. So that's the thing. So if I become popular enough, or I can convince enough people, then maybe my keys will also be one of the trusted ones in the browser. Now, if it came down to that, I'll make mine completely free, just like Let's Encrypt. Okay, so here we are. So I'm going to open the console here, and then we can get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to generate the keys. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Clear. Okay, so let's generate the keys. So I'm gonna use I guess a one-liner, and I'll explain it. I've done this before a few times. So I'm using OpenSSL. I see the required is X509. -new key, and then the type is RSA, and you see 4096, that's the bit. So it's very strong, it's SHA-256, and the number of days is 3650, so that's 10 years. And the node's key out, so when the key, then you put the name there. In my case, I just put our domain or your domain.key, and then out will be the certificate, your domain.cert. Now, sometimes you can do this in 4 different steps. I try to do it all in one because it's self-signed certificate. Then here in the subject, you see it will be the country. CA stands for obviously the country, the state or the province. That's Ontario. That's where I am. And then out here, the legal, whatever the legal name, whatever you call it. So you can make up whatever you want in there. So the organization, Froxlor, and then the CN, that stands for the certificate, the authority name or something like that. So you can make up stuff here. So in this case for our domain, because it's a wildcard certificate, that's why you see the asterisk here. So it's asterisk.yourdomain.local. So for example, my site here is ojambo.com. So there I put asterisk.ojambo.com or whatever you want. Okay, so meaning that say for example test.ojambo.com or mail.ojambo.com, all of them will be able to use this certificate, or in this case it will be, that's why the asterisk means so that's a self-signed certificate. So that's how we create it. And then the add extension, the subject alternate alt name, meaning alternative name, DNS. Usually you can put the IP addresses. So in this particular case, you see I just put asterisk.yourdomain.local, and the DNS is yourdomain.local. So that's it. So now after that, you just press enter, and you see it's done. It created the certificate. You can see the time here. It says 1432, 1423, 4023. That's the exact time right now. So it's created the certificates as we saw. Now let me clear this. So these are self-signed certificates. So can you use this on your remote site? Yes, but I'm saying you're going to get a warning. So that certificate is not, as you see when we actually do this later. Okay, so that's that. Now all I need to do here is I need to start up I need to build. So all you have to type is Podman-Compose. So it's Podman-Compose space app space --build -d. You press enter. So what it's going to do, you see it's going to download. It's going to let me zoom out here, it'll be easier. See, it's getting the PHP 8.2 FPM from Alpine. It's downloading it. From docker.io. Okay, and then after that, you see it's running that APK. It's installing those packages, and then it's going. See, it's fetching them right now. Again, it's from Alpine Linux. It shouldn't take too long. That's another good thing about containers, because containers, they run a very lean version of Linux, whatever distro you like. So downloading, and especially if you have a decent connection like I do, it will be pretty fast. You could also get a large. So the very bloated distros don't make sense for containers, because containers are meant, you're supposed to isolate things. So it doesn't make sense, for example, to get a Ubuntu or Debian, even a Fedora, just for one little thing or two. So you can see the steps it's building now. See, it's really fast. So it's going to build all the dependencies and everything. Okay. All right, it's still running. So when it's done, you know it's done, because it will create the containers. When the containers are created, that's when you know it's done. So normally I always run this before, and then I keep the container, so it runs it from cache. This time you guys are blessed by me doing everything. So this is all live. It shouldn't take too long. Yeah, you see now it's on step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7, and it's done. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I thought it was done. It's getting MariaDB. So now I think that's from the. Now it's also getting Nginx. I think Nginx was the last one from our. Yeah, so there you go. It's done. You see the database. You see here it created the container DB, PHP, and web. Now to make sure everything's running, you just type podman space ps space -a, and you can see, I'll zoom up just a little bit longer. There we go. So you can see this has been up for it started, and it's up for 13 seconds, up for 12 seconds, up for 12 seconds, and you can see here it tells you what port numbers to use, or if you have to open up in a firewall the port numbers to use. Now you might be wondering why it says 00000 here. That 0 means that I can use any IP address on my network to connect to it. So for example, if my computer was, or my router was open to the world, you guys will also be able to log in here. Obviously I'm not going to allow that. I'm just going to be restricted to my network. So there we go. So I can use any IP address. So that means I can also, if I have a phone or another laptop or another device, I can log in there as well. So I'm going to prove to you that it's going to redirect to the secure version. So I'm just going to use I'm going to use the IP address of this workstation, but you can use localhost as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go and use localhost. So I'm going to open up. Oh, it looks like I don't have the web browser here. There we go. So I'm going to use 127. I can use 127. You know what? Let me just use localhost. I think that will be easier for you guys. So I'll say localhost :8000. Right? Look what it will do. You see, it will take. You see, it says the site cannot be reached. Right? And there's a reason the site cannot be reached, because it's actually 8443, I think it was. Oh, come on. Okay, then I have to put HTTPS. Yeah, there we go. So this is what you're going to get. Remember I told you guys you're going to get something like this. Because I'm using a self-signed certificate, it says this connection is not private, blah, blah, blah. So it's going to give you a warning. So remember to obviously if I bought, this is a valid certificate, I wouldn't get this message. So I click advanced and I can proceed. And there we go. We get to the froxlor. So this tutorial is not about installing froxlor. Again, it's about installing an SSL certificate. But I thought it would be a good way to refresh what we did before. So that's why I said I'm going to zip through this part really quickly, because the part that the focus of the tutorial is actually installing the SSL certificate. So that means it's for domains. So obviously if it's just for froxlor, then the tutorial will be over, right? But it's not. So as you can see, it says net secure, but it is in HTTPS. I just wanted to show you guys that. So for example, if I go here and click on the certificate details, you can see here it says your domain.local. So this would be your actual domain. It would actually put it in here, and it will show you who signed it. See the organization, it says froxlor. I said so those are the, remember those units I was showing you on the command line. For example, what O stands for, organization, or U stands for organization unit. And when was it issued? It was issued today. You see the time, it says 14/23, and it expires, as I said, in 10 years. See, it says 2035. Okay, so let's start the install. It goes through a system check. So as I said, I installed all the major dependencies. So this one, it says it's not required but recommended. So I'm actually surprised it uses GNU PG, because I do actually have an application I created for a client which was a secure login, and I did use the GNU PG. I'm actually surprised that froxlor needs it, but there we go. So I didn't install it because not because it would have taken longer to compile it, but yeah, you can install it also with PCLC. PECL. Okay, so we start here, and you see, here's the thing. If this was on just a host machine by itself, localhost would work, but because I am using a Podman container, so I have to use the name of this one here. I have to use froxlor-db, the name of the container. If you're confused, if we go back here, you see this one. Where is it? You see this one? The container name, froxlor-db. That's the name we're going to use. This is only for containers. So that took me a while as well to understand. But now you guys learned another thing as well. So instead of localhost, that's one we're going to use if you're using containers. Otherwise, you could just use the IP address to it as well, and that will perfectly work. So remember, what was our Do you guys remember who the privileged user is? Obviously that was root. And you guys remember the password, the secure password? If you don't remember, it's here. You see this part here? You see the MySQL root password, so that's the one here. And then this is the database name, and this is the stuff, so you can just copy and paste. For example, here it will ask you password for sorry, it says I put it in the wrong place. Okay, and then that one was the user, again from our Podman-Compose file, and then the password there as well. The database stays the same. Yeah, see the database is froxlor. This is the one I just copied and pasted. So whatever you set there is what you paste in here. Now, it says backup and override database exists. Now, if you want, you can click that. This is just a brand new install, as you guys saw, so it doesn't exist. So I click next. So it says database already exists. Please set the override to rebuild or use another name. So I'm just going to click this then. Oh, you know what? I forgot to get rid of the volume, so that's fine. So I'll just click here next. And then it's going to ask for an administrator name. So it says that's fine. I said this is just a quick tutorial, and then you can put in whatever username you want in there. So I'm going to put in the password, a very secure password. I hope it says same. It says use email above as a sender email. If unchecked, please specify. Okay, so I will. I'll just put in the username, so the one we always use, jumboshow.local. Click next, and you see it detected that it's running Debian 12. I think that's what Alpine uses. So I just left that as is. They're all Debian based, so that's perfectly fine. And so this IP address is something that Podman itself creates. So that's fine. I don't care. You can put your own there if you want. I just leave it as is. And then if you want to use IPv6, again, that's fine. And you see it detected the your domain.local. So I'm going to leave that as is. It might actually give me an error, but I'll leave it. I think it will give me an error, but we'll see. And then you see you can choose Nginx, Apache 2.4, or Light PD. We already have Nginx. I'll leave that as well. And we already have FPM, PHP FPM. So I don't need to change that one. Okay, so I click next. Yeah, I was right. So it's gonna give me it wants a real one. So I'll just remove that one there and just have www. Okay. All right, and then it says here that you see it says there's one more step. So it wants you to go into here and manually run this command. So I'm gonna. So these are for. If you remember last time we had a few little issues. The reason was because like some of these options were not enabled because I said I was just showing you how to install it. This time I'm going to install some of them. So what you do is I'm going to copy this. Can I just copy? Okay, there's no. I'm so used to the ones where you copy. So I'm going to copy that the manual way. There's no button to click. Okay, copy. Then I'm going to go to the command line here, and then I just need to execute. I need to enter this PHP. I need to enter this PHP container. So what you do is just type podman space exe space -it space and then the name of the container I want, which is obviously froxlor-ph, and I want to run bash. I think it doesn't have bash, but I know it has sh, so I will use sh. And you see it took me here. Then all I need to do is simply paste that command, and then you see it's gonna run, download whatever it needs, and it's finished. Okay, so it's finished. Now some stuff it wasn't able to get, like for example NSSS switch. Oh no, sorry, I did create that one. Apt-get not found. So the reason it's not able to get apt-get is because it thought I'm actually running Alpine Linux, so it was not able to do some of those things that it wanted, which is fine. So so that's what it did. And besides, I don't really want to install these packages because I said this is just a testing, but basically because I chose Debian, so that's why it was trying to get all that stuff running. But as I said, I'm not going to. That's not so important. So I'll just exit out of here, exit the container, and now I can go here, and you see it's waiting for services to begin. I'm just going to click here. I'll manually do it and finish setup. Cannot be read from the server. What is going on here? What the? Wrong ownership / www froxlor. What? I thought we did that in the container file. Okay. I never got that error before, so let's go. Let me see how many containers I have again. Okay. So it's probably this one. I'm not sure if it's either the web. Oh, it must be the web. So let's run that command we just ran before. This time I'm going to use web. And let's see what's going on here. Let's see slash. Okay, so it's not web, it must be PHP then. Okay, so that's no problem. So I'm going to exit this guy. Run the PHP one. There we go, PHP. Let's see who the ownership. Who is the owner here? It's www.data. What in the world is going on here? I never realized I got this error message. You know, www froxlor. Am I crazy? That's the owner. It says www-data. wdata owns everything here. Let me double check. Let me go inside it. cd froxlor, and let's see once. Yeah, everything's owned by www-data. I don't know why I'm getting this error message. Commission file cannot be read from the server. Oh, did I make a mistake? Let's maybe go back. Oh, it looks like. Oh, don't tell me I have to reinstall everything. I'll be not too happy about that. Okay, what's that? Come on. I don't know why that is. The permissions are perfectly correct. Yeah, the permissions are correct. I don't know why that is. I don't know why we're here. That is weird. You know what, maybe when I pasted that command I probably messed up. I might have to start again. So let me exit here. And I will, I'm going to put it down. Podman-Compose down. I'm going to bring the server down. Okay, then I'll bring it back up. Compose up -d. Oh, I should have checked the log files. This looks like it's a cache. Yeah, this definitely looks like it's a cache. Okay, maybe, okay, so I might have to reinstall everything again, but I hope I don't have to. Let me bring this down. I might have to finish the tutorial using screenshots, which is sad. Let me see how many volumes I have. Volumes. Oh, a volume. I think it's ls. Yeah, it's the same. Okay, so I'm gonna delete everything and start again from scratch. I don't know why that was super weird. I might skip that step. Okay, so yeah, everything is down. All right, I might have to skip that step. So I'm gonna delete everything. Podman. Oh, you know, let me rebuild it. Yeah, I'm gonna rebuild. Okay, so I'm gonna rebuild everything. What in the world? Okay, this is definitely a... Yeah, that is weird. Okay. And it was 80, I think it was. Okay. Okay, redirected to the proper one. So 8443. Wow, okay. Looks like I need to delete those. Let me bring this down again. I might have to rebuild everything. I don't know what in the world happened there. Maybe I should try a different browser or incognito. Okay, so let's just delete some of this. So I'm gonna delete the volumes. Podman volume ls. I'm gonna delete the volumes. So remove Podman volume prune. Okay, update the volumes. Now it should be able to. Should I rebuild? Okay, let's rebuild everything. Okay, so I've deleted those volumes. If I refresh this page, it should actually take me to, yeah, okay, we install again. Okay, whatever. Again, we set this up. Okay, we override. Cool. Nginx is correct. Remember, this was a problem for us. So just type www and okay. Okay. Should I run this stuff again? Okay. So what I'll do is I'm going to do a trick. So I'm going to click this and I say I'll do it manually. So I'll go next. There we go. So I'm going to let me paste that stuff here. Okay, so it was admin and admin. Well, so here we go. So some of this stuff might actually not work, but I'll take care of that later. So the most important thing here is, as you can see, it's the same as before. You know, admin, my profile, two-factor authentication. You can start and log out. Obviously, you can see the resources, customize. So go SSL certificates. So SSL certificates, there are none here yet. So what you need to do first is go to domains, and you need to add a domain. It says first you need to create one customer. So let's go create a customer. I'll create a customer here. And did I use my name? Oh yeah, I used, okay. So I'll say the username will be, yeah, I'll use my name. I'll just say Edward. Create a standard subdomain, sure, whatever. Auto-generate password, sure. Okay, let me copy this password just in case. Oh, you know what? I'll write my own password. It doesn't let me type my own password. Okay, looks like it's... Okay, I have to copy that password. That was weird. Okay, I don't want to send the password. Can I? What can I? Okay, looks like I can't. Oh, right, okay, I can't set my own password, that's fine. Title, Mr. Edward Jumbo, company name, jumbo.com. I'm going to skip that, the email address will be the same. Local, and the plan, I guess I'll use the default plan. Okay, 0 means it's unlimited. Oh no, it deactivates. Okay, so web space deactivates 0. I don't understand this. Okay. The checkbox on the right. Oh, this is unlimited. Okay, so I'll make that unlimited, 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 unlimited here. Addresses, unlimited, folders, whatever. So they can have all this. MySQL databases, they can make unlimited. I don't use FTP, enabled, pro, and let's hit save. Is already news, okay. Ah, it got rid of all my stuff. Okay, Edward. And .com. So I'll just say this time will be Jumbo. Okay, here will be Eddie at JumboShow.local. What do I do again? Unlimited, unlimited. Okay, that's enough. Okay, and hit save. What the? What is wrong with this thing? Oh, is it because I don't have? I think I think I might know why. Did it say send to? Oh, here, send. That was my fault. Okay. No, what else left here? So Eddie. Local. One more time. So this is, I always do this on a larger screen. It's really hard for me to. The reason I got a larger screen a long time ago is because I dislike having to save stuff. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's weird. Huh, that's weird. Isn't that weird? I don't know if I did that today. That must have done today because I just built this. I remember creating this in the past. Okay, it doesn't really matter. So let's pick this user, Edward. Okay, so let's go create a domain for them. Oh, did it create a domain for me already? Oh yeah, I did create a domain. It says edward.www.local, etc. Okay, that's fine. Let's go to domains overview. So here CC Edward, blah blah blah. So click this. Oops, I don't want to go to it. View, is this edit? Assign domain. Oh, that's not what I want. What in the world? Do I have to create another one? Oh, is this it? Use it? No, let's use the stats. What? Oh, you know what? I think I have to run that command. I think that's the reason. I can't. Can I create a subdomain? Okay, there we go. This is what I wanted to do. Create subdomain. So here, I'll say mail, and the alias will be. You know, you can create an alias if you want. So this is the part I wanted to show you guys. This right here. You see where it says Web Server SSL settings. It's enabled by default. You see, You can use Let's Encrypt. That's what I was trying to say. You can enable for Let's Encrypt. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. And once you do, you can get extra options. Once you enable the SSL, it will ask you if you want to use like Let's Encrypt or one that you purchased yourself. And you can also do an SSL redirect by default. So that's all up to you. Then you hit save. Does not exist. Oh, it is. Oh, that's a sublet. Why can I create a new domain? Is it because I did not? Most likely because I did not. Let me see the screenshots I took. That looks totally different. Yeah, the domains. Yeah, oh, they're missing. So, okay, let me go back to the command line. Yeah, I was right. So I do need, I think I need to install those things on the command line. So give me a second here. I'll do the podman. Some stuff is missing. Podman, execute, it, froxlor-db, ch. Okay, I'm going to run that command. Okay, so now that I ran that command, does it should give me refresh? Hopefully it doesn't mess up. Domain not configured. Okay, so it looks like, I don't know what happened. It looks like I'm not able to, please ask your, requires a domain via server management as programmed and not assigned to any customer. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. I never had this issue before. I do not know why, but anyway, so the tutorial is over. Anyways, the point was to show you how to get the SSL a self-signed certificate. No, not self-signed, a wildcard certificate. So wildcard means that it will be able to grab all your. Oh, you know what it is? I think I know what the problem is. I think it's because I use localhost. I should not have used localhost. I should have actually used something like one. Is that what I did with here? Yes, I'm right. That's what I should have done. There we go. That's what I should have done. I shouldn't have used localhost. Now it should work. Yeah, there we go. So if I go to where was this? It's a dashboard. See, there's 2 customers. And yeah, there we go. Now I do have more options. As you can see, my profile, I can go to the home page. There's resources here, domains. Yeah, here we go. Now I can actually create a domain. So there we go. This should give me more options as well. There we go. If I go down, you see it gives me more options, way more options than before. And here we go. You see it assigned the IP address. You can have a SSL redirect, use Let's Encrypt, and there we go. I said more options. Okay, and you see here you can assign the TLS version 2 or 3, that's up to you. And then here you can put it says allowed SSL ciphers. If you have your own SSL vhost settings, include non-SSL vhost settings. You see there's a lot of way more options. And then there's a PHP stuff. See, all this stuff was not there in the other one. So so all you have to do is basically for this tutorial is just enable SSL, and it says IP addresses can be changed when the domain is configured as an alias of another domain. So there we go. You see, this is the part I was trying to say. You see the wildcard, wildcard. So that's all you have to do is the it says wildcard domain.tld, that stands for top level domain. So you can see you can do WF, you can put not an alias. So for the person who requested this is the part where you go and you pick wildcard. That means that for the same certificate, it will work for, if you have a wildcard certificate, it will automatically pick it up. You don't have to do anything. So now there's two ways to install it, because I'm using Nginx. Nginx is slightly different from Apache. Nginx, you have to manually go and put it there. I don't think, as far as I know, I don't think there's a script that does that. I mean, you can create your own script. I'm saying I don't think there's like a web script that does it. Usually the scripts are usually meant for Apache, but it's the same, because the difference is because Apache, you can split your configurations. You can have your vhosts. Vhost means, for example, different domains or subdomains. You can have them as separate files. But with Nginx, the Nginx, it's all one file, right? So it's all in one file. So obviously that makes it, I guess, easier for maintenance. Yeah. So there we go. So sorry about that, guys. I thought it was localhost, but I realized it's the IP address. And clearly, as I said, you can also use the IP address for the workstation or your server, and you can also use it on a different device. Now I'm going to prove it to you in a second here. So I've mentioned this a few times, but let me exit out of here. Now, if you're on, obviously, another tip is obviously don't use Alpine for this. Use one of the Debian-based ones, the Debian or the Ubuntu, and it will work perfectly fine. So it's not able to install those packages because obviously, as I said before, I'm using Alpine Linux. So the reason this works for me is because I'm not. This tutorial is only for the SSL certificate, but obviously some of you guys need a refresher on Froxlor, that's why. So what was I going to say here? I lost my thought. Give me a second. Oh, what am I here for? Oh, yeah, I want to show you guys something. So if you are using, in order to get the IP address, there's several ways for your workstation. You can obviously get it from your router. You can maybe type something on the internet, it will tell you what that is. But another option is you can just go to the command line, and if you're on Windows, you type ipconfig. But if you're on a Unix type of system, that's obviously BSDs, Linux, Mac OS, you type ifconfig. Ifconfig might also work if in Windows, if you're, I guess, in the Windows, what do you call Windows, is it Services Linux? WSL, I don't know what that stands for. So if I type ifconfig, you see right here, it's going to tell me my IP address. So I just copy that, and then I can type that onto my phone. And I'll show you that. I'm actually going to, I'm going to show that here to you guys, just a second. So if you can see my phone, you see it says upload, not upload, it's 8080, sorry. It's 8080, okay. Then it redirected to the, you see that's what it redirected it to, but it didn't redirect to with the port number, so I'm going to put that port number there, 8443, as you can see I put it up there, 8443, I put go, and I get the same thing. You see the alert thing, so I click advanced, and I click proceed. I'm going to proceed. And you see, it takes me to the Froxlor login page. So you can use this anywhere as well, wherever. I mean, this is obviously on a local host, but I'm saying this would be on a server. So then you can go in and do all that stuff. For example, as I said here, if I click back, you see now I can actually create domains. So you see here, I can create the domain, and the same thing as well. If I scroll the way down, you see it says I can enable, by default the name is enable SSL, the IP address, and again SSL redirect. You can decide to use Let's Encrypt, and the settings are exactly the same. You see, SSL vhost settings and none, and you know, the exact same thing as before. So, and you can then decide to use a mail server or web server settings, and all of that as well. You can also create aliases, as you can see here, or no aliases at all. So I'm not going to create one because the one that was automatically created worked perfectly for me. So This, as I said, this tutorial was meant to show you how to install an SSL certificate for froxlor, Wildcard SSL certificate. Obviously, that was self-signed, but I'm saying if you buy one, you can do the same thing, just install it in your server. So that's it, and you can see here I can also the other options here. There's quite a lot of options. I said I have a dedicated tutorial for this, but this one was strictly to show you how to run how to set up an SSL certificate for froxlor, a wildcard SSL certificate. So it shows you all the options here, the host name, and etc., etc. So it's working it works fine. Okay, now with that over, I said I do have a written tutorial here as well. You can just go follow the instructions there, and this is live to prove this is live, etc., etc. So it's working there we go. So let's get right to the conclusion here. So using Podman-Compose made it super easy to set up froxlor inside containers with everything managed automatically by defining everything in a single Podman-Compose YAML file. You can easily recreate or scale this setup on any machine. And if you find this guide useful, check out my other resources. I have Learning JavaScript book. It's a great resource to start learning JavaScript. It's available on Amazon. I have Learning PHP, where you can learn PHP from the ground up. Both these books are available on Amazon. Links are also in the description. And both of them are also available as courses on our JamboShop.com. The links are also in the description. And if you want one-on-one programming tutorials and updating or migrating on froxlor, you can contact me at jambo.com/contact. Now, with that said, a quick reminder, I do a live stream every day at 2 p.m. Eastern. You visit jambo.com, go to watch menu live summary, you can see topics for this and upcoming tutorials. For example, what are we doing tomorrow? We're gonna look at an AI-based advanced text editor. And also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments. It helps this channel grow and helps other people find content just like this one. They said this was requested by one of you guys. So I do honor, do requests. Okay, and before I let you guys go, I do have two other recommended resources. So as you guys know, I'm in a rural area, and the cellular service and the internet services are not very good. In fact, they're pretty much non-existent. So what I do is I do have SpaceX Starlink, the residential service. I do use that for internet users, and right now I'm doing this live stream. It's actually because of the SpaceX Starlink, and I also use it for on my phone. I use Wi-Fi calling. So with Wi-Fi calling, I'm able to send, receive calls, text messages, and MMS as if I'm in an area where the signals would work perfectly. So you can use Wi-Fi calling anywhere around the world, and you won't have to pay any roaming fees. So that makes it very, very desirable for me, especially here. And works good as well outside. I can go all the way up to the chicken hoop and it will work fine. And I also have another resource. I have a novelette here. It's called the Algorithmic Servant, which I've been promoting all this month. It's created by me, Eduardo Jambo, as you can see my name there. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook form. And as you can see here, it's about a scientist who creates an AI system and loses his mind. So not only does he have to regain control of his mind, he has to regain control of the AI system. As you can see here, this is the paperback version, and the ebook version is also available. The ebook version is available for free if you have Kindle Unlimited. And both are very, very affordable. I made them as affordable as possible. I make bare minimum on both of them. For example, this one, the majority of the cost goes to the printing and obviously shipping costs, and the ebook version is just for, I guess, for the storage costs. That's what it is. So the reason I created this is so because I want I do like writing, not just programming books, but I do like writing some fiction stuff as well. So what I'm hoping for is if you guys take a look at it and let me know what you think, good or bad. I'm here to improve just like you guys. All right, with that said, I'm going to check the live chat. I don't see any chat requests. So I'm going to end this live stream. I'll probably do a live stream tonight. I'm transitioning all the night live streams to be more of an AMA. If you don't know what that means ask me anything. So you're free to join and you can ask me anything. For example, just last night I did one which was just under 4 hours, right? So yeah, that's a little back and forth. So we can do another one tonight if you guys want. I'm not sure about the topic yet. I mean the main topic, but I'm saying you could ask me anything you want. So it's 8:30 p.m. Eastern tonight, and then for tomorrow for the text editor at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, guys, bye. Have a great day, and thanks again. Be sure to subscribe. See ya.